everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. We are here to talk about Good Witch. This is very exciting. We have the latest Halloween special, the Good Witch, The Curse from a Rose. Very exciting. Curses abound. And I'm Rachel, and Georgia is here.
Hello.
Yes. So how have you been, Georgia?
I have been well, thank you.
Yeah.
Just, gearing up, enjoying Halloween season and getting ready for Christmas season, which coincides with Halloween season now. And holidays. I love holidays. I'm excited.
It's just every holiday in 1 week kind of.
Cram it all in there.
We just need to have a Thanksgiving this week, and it'll just be like a party every day.
The Thanksgiving food, the Halloween festivities, and the Christmas decorations, to me, like, you got it all in there.
Yes.
Good.
And there was a side of me that wondered if they were going to cancel Good Witch, because this crazy thing that happened this weekend with them canceling the crosswords mystery so that they could start Christmas programming 24/7 early, and because Lifetime had started theirs early. And so, like, it's madness, because I don't understand why, if they want to have that button of being the first to start Christmas coverage, I don't understand why they have to do it on all of the channels, and why they couldn't still have another movie that's made. Like, it's so crazy to me that any network would choose airing a rerun over airing a new film. Like, that's what that's what Hallmark did this weekend. And so I wouldn't have been shocked at all with how insane everything has been if they had been like, oh, sorry, we're canceling Good Witch.
I mean, I half expected it. I really was like, well, that's just gone now, isn't it? We're not going to know what happens. They're going to show that in March, and it's not going to make any sense. And they're going to have to redo it because it's not going to be Halloween. I mean, really, I just was expecting it because that was so crazy that they did the. We were fine.
3 days before the release. I was joking on Facebook. I said, this is not a way to run a youth soccer team. Let alone, like, can you imagine if they were like to the moms and stuff, you were like, sorry, the game's canceled 3 days before, they'd be like, what? My whole schedule. And to think they're running a major network this way is just insane. And I guess I could understand if it was this sort of rare thing, but frankly, this is becoming the rule, not the exception to the rule.
I mean, this year has been
so much.
I just, at some point, you get yourself back on track. We know there was the whole thing earlier, and so fine, everything got mixed up and whatever. But at this point in the year, I thought you are on track. You know the schedule. You have it down to the last minute what you're going to be showing until January. Like, I thought they just had it. And then they won't flip it again. And you go, now it's going to mess up the scheduling for next year. And it's going to, like, why not just start clean next year? Air what you have this. It does not make even
I feel
sense.
like we need to change the podcast to just being, we covered what aired. Surprise!
It's reruns. We covered it.
We covered it. We covered whatever aired. Like, what? But anyway, that's a tangent. The Good Witch thankfully did air the Halloween special, and I hope everybody got to listen to my interview with Catherine Disher. It was such a delight to get to talk with her. I had actually been working so hard to get that interview. It's just been back and forth since the beginning of since before the season. We'd been trying, and we just had no luck. And so it was such a delight to get to talk with her and get to ask her about her how career's going, and also, of course, about playing Martha. And through the season, I really enjoyed getting to talk to her about, like, interviewing the comptroller and some of the other scenes that were so funny in the last season. And so when she agreed that I told her about the Monte Cristo monstrosity. I told her too that we missed Vincent, that we were upset about it. And so I told her, I said, tell the showrunners that we want Vincent back.
I miss him so much.
So I did the best I could to share our feelings of the season. And
honestly, Rachel, that is so impressive that you even said anything.
Oh, I did.
Our little secret kind of thing.
No, I did. I said. And so anyway, it was really fun. I really enjoyed the interview. So check it out. And I'll put a link in the description to the interview, and you can take a listen if you didn't get a chance to do so. And so here we go for this movie. This movie had quite the summary, everything that it was trying to do. And so here goes. Cassie receives an unexpected visit from her college roommate, Autumn Devereaux, who harbors resentment toward Cassie over a past event. Cassie relies on her magical instincts to help Autumn through her unresolved feelings before she sabotages Middleton's celebrations. Martha plans a bonfire to honor the season and tries to ignore her husband's failure to recognize the anniversary of their engagement on Halloween night. Bad luck seems to thwart Sam's attempts to plan a romantic Halloween for Cassie, since it's their first as a married couple. Despite the arrival of mysterious good luck charm, Donovan makes a wager with Abigail over the Halloween-themed triathlon he is racing against Sam, with the winner earning the rights to decide the couple's Halloween plans. Stephanie and Adam rally the town to break a pumpkin carving record held by Blairsville. Meanwhile, George and Nick search for Middleton's mythical sea monster. As the bonfire nears, Cassie works her magic to help Autumn overcome the past and take control of her future. So,
what did they say her name was? Autumn?
Oh, Autumn Devereaux.
I thought they said it was Autumn Delaney in the special.
You know what? I think you're right. So this summary is called The Suspect.
Oh, jeez. Because that's all correct. Happened, but,
But you're right. Yeah, I think it was Delaney. So who knows?
Who even knows anymore what we're talking about? Maybe we didn't even watch it. We're just imagining it.
Yeah. So, Georgia, I know your thoughts, but what is your overall feeling about this special?
I mean, we'll start with the good is Martha is the best.
Yeah.
And I was not like, Martha is queen for most of this series. I love Martha, but this was Martha's movie to me. Yeah. She was the best part. She was the most entertaining. I still miss Vincent so much, but the rest of the movie just felt like, I don't know, because I want to say it nicely because I love this show so much. It just felt like they clumped together a bunch of old storylines, sort of. Mm-hmm. And then ran it as new, but without, because you could have done that and had it be interesting and had them go, oh, this is something that's happened to me before and something that's happened to me before, and have them deal with it in a new way if you wanted to do that. Because I know we don't have Grace anymore and they're figuring things out. And so that could have been interesting, but they were completely unaware of everything being old. And I'm like, you should have known that what you were doing was stuff you've done already. It felt kind of like unimaginative to me, I guess.
Yeah. It kind of maybe has some of the same problems that the Hallmark sequels have, because it's like once because all of these couples have now gotten together, and it's sort of a struggle sometimes with Hallmark sequels. Okay, now what do we do next with these couples now they're together? And I kind of think there was maybe because it did feel kind of rote and a little bland to me, despite that summary making it seem like it was going to be super original. I don't know, there was something about it that didn't quite work for me. But anyway, let's dive into talking about some of the things that did happen. We start out with Cassie making a care package for Grace, and I think that we're going to see many care packages over the next season.
I hope so.
Do you agree? I mean, I think that's going to be their big thing. It's going to be like, oh, I'm making this care package for Grace. She can't be here.
It felt so weird because I'm like, oh, Grace does love those. And then it's like, oh, because she's not there. Oh, gosh, that's right.
Yeah. I think we're going to see many. Candy corn muffins.
That sounds disgusting, but okay. I love candy corn, but no, that sounds horrible.
Yeah. So then we get the first of Sam trying to do a special date for Cassie for Halloween. And how do you feel about making Halloween like super romantic? Like,
It was super weird to me. I'm sorry. That was just super weird that they Abigail and Donovan, oh, I thought we would spend it together. And I'm like, just hand out the candy to the kids, go to your festival and deal with it. You're fine. It's
yeah,
important to the women of that family. It should not be that important to everybody else.
in
Like
the whole town. Yeah.
it that's crazy to me. I love it, but that's crazy. That was not
I thought
removed.
it was kind of funny because yeah, I do think that my dream in life is to have a relationship where I can wear a couple's costume. So there
Too,
is that part that's very romantic about Halloween. But I don't know, just kind of like we've got to make this Halloween special and super romantic. I don't know, it kept making me giggle. It kept making me
yeah.
laugh.
Because it's weird to make it like romantic like they would anything else. Just like, oh, a candlelit dinner and a nice, ride on the lake and stuff. And it's like, no, do something spooky and, interesting. And maybe the historical stuff I like because
Yeah.
of meaning, but
I
it's
mean, I
still
guess
like
it
sort of
kind of,
ghost story-ish.
yeah, I mean, there's just, for some reason, I don't know why that we have been able to co-opt Christmas with romance so effectively since the beginning of film, practically.
Mistletoe.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. But for some reason, other holidays, it's just like kind of ridiculous to me. It's kind of silly, but it was fine. It was just funny to me. It was like, ooh,
I just
I
like
don't
it
know. We got to
honestly.
make our Halloween special and romantic, or it's not a good sign for our relationship. It was just,
That's the thing. There
it's
was
just
too
funny
much
to
there
me.
was too much importance placed on it. I'm like, have it be romantic in like a different because I would love a Halloween like romantic comedy. You can make that work. I am down. I've
Hmm.
thought about it. I don't know how you would do it, but I want it.
Yeah.
But this was not how you would do it. Where it's like we have to
I,
have a meaningful Halloween as our first
yeah.
date
I
together.
think October Kiss is probably the closest they've ever gotten. Have you seen that one?
I love October
Yeah, that one
Kiss.
was so good. And that has
It's
trick or
so good.
treating and it has costumes and has most of the elements
That's
of
true.
a romantic comedy. But anyway,
Very
and
romantic.
Halloween. So yeah, and then you have Donovan inviting Abigail to Halloween and it's she's like, I can't go to Blairsville for Halloween. I mean, forget that idea. What is he, crazy?
Good job, Abigail.
And it did make me laugh because this Autumn Delaney, like how many roommates and friends for college can we get from I mean I would want to be friends with Cassie, so I guess I understand it, but it is hilarious. I mean, we just barely last season had Kathleen and Jimmy, and then before
Yeah.
that Lauren Hawley was one of her friends, and then there's just so many friends.
And it's never just like, hey, I'm getting my friends together. They're always there for some, big life
Yeah,
changing,
yeah,
meaningful conversation with her. And none of them ever seem to know each other. And I'm like, well,
yeah, that's true.
how did you do college? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we need some
really
kind
interesting.
of Cassie friend reunion thing. Like,
Yeah.
get everybody, get that guy that you dated briefly, get him in there. I forget his name.
Oh
Anyway,
God, what
it's
was his name?
funny.
I
Yeah.
remember him. Yeah. That's
And
weird.
I mean, this lady, this Autumn, I was very suspect of her from the very beginning.
For sure.
Yeah, I just did not trust her. And I'm thinking, Martha, what are you doing putting this important bonfire, which we've never heard of before but is evidently so important, that that why are you putting it in the hands of this person that's very suspect?
Very. I mean,
Yeah.
super shady.
Yeah. So I don't know. That was interesting. But I did love the flashbacks. I
Oh yeah.
thought that whoever they got to play young Cassie,
Yeah.
they need to use her again because she was perfect, I thought, as young Catherine Bell. I thought
She
she looked exactly like her.
she talked. I was like, well, if you can't get the voice and the manner of speaking down, it's not going to work. And she did. I mean, it
Yeah.
it just worked. I was like, yeah, I buy that that's her in college
Yeah.
for sure.
Cassie may be giving out all different kinds of oils to friends to get them to calm down, but there's all different kinds of beauty products that we use on a regular basis. And we are very excited to talk about our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's a company called Thrive Cosmetics, and that's cosmetics with a CAUSE before it. You can get 15% off your first order from Thrive Cosmetics by going to thrivecosmetics.com/Hallmarkies and you enter code Hallmarkies, and it's Thrive Cosmetics, ThriveCosmetics.com. So make sure to check that out. It's really cool. Their products are all natural, as Cassie would approve. They do not have parabens or sulfates. They are vegan and cruelty-free, approved by Leaping Bunny and PETA. And they also have causes, just like the name would imply. They give back to organizations that help women in need, including helping them emerge from homelessness, survive domestic abuse, and fight cancer. So lots of great causes that they have. And like I said, you can get 15% off your first order at thrivecosmetics.com/Hallmarkies using code Hallmarkies on your first purchase. And that's Thrive Cosmetics, ThriveCosmetics.com.
And her clothes were so cute. I was very, yes.
I thought they nailed that. And you're right. It's not hard. It's not easy to do.
No.
By any means. And so if they wanted to do, oh my gosh, how great would it be to have a Freaky Friday type premise type movie, but you could use Catherine Bell and that girl and have them, like switch places. That would be great.
That would be, I'd be on board.
Yes.
That would be good.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
I like it.
I thought she was really great, and you find out that this was an interesting. So she made a mixture for this friend before this big interview. She's super stressed out about this big interview where she's going to get this internship, and she made this mixture of blue chamomile, flowers, and geranium to help her to be able to sleep, calm down, and then I guess she worked too well. Is that the big reveal? And the thing that was weird is, it's like, how did she not know this?
Yeah,
she didn't, you're roommates with somebody and then they never talked again. She never knew that she didn't go on the internship, that she didn't, that's unusual. Yes, people fall out of touch, but usually not. We're roommates. No more. We never talk again. I have no idea what happened to you the next day.
What? I was so confused, and I still am. I don't understand how that was supposed to have gone down.
I was confused. I'm like, did I miss something? Because she would have fallen asleep. And wouldn't Cassie have known that she slept in? It was very confusing. But anyway, that's what happened. And so this girl Autumn is super irritated with Cassie. Doesn't like her, doesn't trust her, but is very passive aggressive about it.
But how great was that it started off with her doing her little spell and stuff, looking at Cassie on the alumni magazine, and I was like, oh no, she's mad at Cassie for her success. That's kind of a new storyline. I'm not about that, but that was just so, usually Good Witch kind of does more to, it's sort of more shrouded in mystery. It's like, here's a clue, and if you figure it out, fine. But they don't give it away at the beginning. And this was first 10 seconds, you go, this lady's mad at Cassie for being successful. And yep, that's pretty much what it was, because she blamed her for not being successful. Okay. Fine.
Well, and evidently the gods are unhappy with Cassie too, because they not only does the dates keep getting messed up, but Grey House is put under jeopardy. Pipes are bursting, things are happening. This is not this is not pretty. It's not good. And that made me laugh. And I think I have to say, I don't know, maybe I would keep eating and drinking even with the drop in my cup like that. I don't know. I guess pipes is a pretty important thing, but
that would be a pretty.
It was pretty funny. I certainly would have kept eating when Nick walks in.
Right.
And again,
What?
he's like, risotto.
He's just supposed to be the most clueless thing ever now. Like, he would have gotten it when he walked in.
Yeah. Also, didn't we know that Sam was like a super good cook? Making risotto and all this stuff?
I don't
think we did. So this is exciting. This is new.
I feel like there must have been some, but yeah, of course he has to be.
Yeah. So anyway, and he's burning the garlic bread. Everything is going wrong.
I like that the smoke detector just stopped beeping though.
Also, so Abigail announces that there's no confections that are going to arrive by Halloween. And so she starts eating these donuts that Autumn made. And I thought that those donuts were going to end up being like bewitched or something like that. Like there was going to be something, but they were just kind of yummy donuts, right?
They were literally just, they were a treat that people were eating that looked kind of good. I was so weirded out by the whole thing. I don't know. The first half of the movie felt like a different thing than the second half to me.
Yeah. Anyway, so I thought that the donuts were definitely going to come into play more.
Sure.
Than they ended up coming into play. So that was interesting. And also, they did not look yummy at all. They needed some kind of a glaze.
Were they baked?
I mean, they looked baked and they looked dry.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. It looked like the kind of, you know how people make donuts for dogs?
Yeah.
Like to feed your dog so they don't feel left out of the cupcakes or whatever. That's what it looked like to me. And I'm like, it needs a glaze.
Even the stuff, did you ever watch Providence?
I think I did vaguely, it sounds vaguely familiar. Yeah.
God, I love that show. It was one of my first like favorite shows when I was a kid, and I was watching it, and the sister had a dog treat bakery. And those treats were more appetizing. Like, I wanted to be.
It did look like one of those, didn't it, though?
It didn't look like that. Because that looked like one of those ones that when people make the quote-unquote healthy donuts and you bake them and they have, special powder to make it taste like chocolate. And
it did. It totally did. It's like, but even those people put a glaze on. Like, there's some madness. It's just like... Anyway, so we find out that George is looking for Bessie Middleton's Loch Ness monster. How did you feel about this whole sort of plot running through of Nick and George?
I mean, it's like I don't have a problem with it, but I sort of either wanted there to be more hijinks with it or have them bond more. It was just kind of like something to keep them busy.
Yeah, I did think it was really cute though when Nick photoshops the photos.
Yeah,
that was cute. I liked that.
I mean, it's cute, it's fun. It's just George used to sort of have more to do, and Nick, I don't know, it's like they're like the comic relief, which is fine. That's completely fine. But it was interesting to now have that pop up, and it's all these things that I'm like, we would have heard about this in the last 5 years, right? But of course, you'd suspend that for the 2 hours and think, sure, they've talked about this some other point. But, it was fine. I didn't have strong...
It was a small part. It was a small part of the episode of the movie. And so, then you basically find out that Martha, and speaking of people just walking into people's houses, like Martha, she just walks in. It was hilarious. And, but Martha is very excited because they have this bonfire, this tradition that's supposed to have been going on since like 1880. And this bonfire. And this news reporter is going to come and do a piece on the bonfire. She's really excited about it, wants it to be perfect. And it's kind of funny because supposedly there's just over 3,000 people in Middleton.
Yeah.
Right. And so if this is really that big a deal, let's say they get 60% of the people to come to or even let's just say 50 to make it easy. Let's say 50% of people to come to the bonfire because other people have work, they have other stuff, they don't care, whatever.
Yeah.
50%. That's 1,500 costumes.
Exactly.
They would need. I mean, this place that they're ordering them from has quite a supply. Like,
To
that is impressive.
overnight them. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wow. Okay.
Um, and also, so if they're gonna supposedly break this record, they need everybody in Middleton to make 2 pumpkin jack-o'-lanterns.
Yes,
But
Stephanie and Adam.
the Stephanie and Adam. The problem with that is that, like, it doesn't account for small children, and like the population of a town includes old people and babies and
I don't understand.
disaffected teenagers, and I mean, supposedly they only had a 51 pumpkin uh
Deficit. Yeah.
deficit. So I'd say they did pretty darn good getting everybody to make their 2 pumpkins if they were only short 51. I
The what you're talking about though, with of course not everybody's gonna be able to do it. I'm gonna forgive Stephanie because I love her, and I'm gonna forgive her. Adam is a doctor, and he did not take that into account.
Adam's not a
He's
doctor.
not a
He's
doctor,
a
he's a chaplain. He
chaplain.
works at a hospital. He
Right.
sees the people who live in the
Right.
area. Some of these people are going to be in the hospital.
Right.
Somebody got sick on Halloween. They can't do their pumpkins. You're going to account for that and say,
Yeah.
let's take out like 100 of them and assume that they can't do it at least. Other
At
people
least.
up for it. How you thought that that was going to work? I was sitting there going, no, do not assume it's going to happen.
It was pretty. The math did not add up. Plus, I think if you had over 5,000 pumpkins, which is what they needed, I didn't write down the exact number, but it was 5,000 something pumpkins. Yeah. That would take up way more than just that stadium kind of a thing.
Honestly.
No way. I mean, because a pumpkin is like a pretty big thing, and I mean, it's like a good foot. Most pumpkins are like a foot wide.
Unless you're making it into a boat.
Even if you use small pumpkins, still 5,000 would take up a big space.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, look, you guys, like, I don't want to just be down on this thing. I don't know if it's because I've normally most years now I've been such a scaredy cat. I don't watch scary movies. I watch things like this.
Yeah.
This year I've been watching scary stuff, and I'm super into like actual Halloween things. Right, going back to being
proud of you.
Thank you. I used to be able to handle it, and then I became a big baby, and now I'm like, no, I like it again. So that's what I've been watching. I do not know if I'm in like a bad spot to be watching this now, like if that's why I'm being harder on it, because it shouldn't be a problem, right?
No, I mean, we're human beings. We like some stuff, we don't like some stuff, and so that's the way human beings work. And so we'll keep talking. Yeah,
it doesn't feel like it's like super off from what they normally do, but it just didn't work for some reason.
I think because there isn't the tension of the relationship being in flux kind of a thing, and I do think that they kind of need that. And as frustrating as it can kind of be when that stretches out too long, like waiting for the wedding maybe was a little too long, I think it's kind of necessary. And so I think that what they should have done is they should have maybe had a little like side romance from somebody in the town, or maybe a couple, something like that would have been kind of a fun thing that Cassie's helping with, or that there's some other kind of, because even I think the one where Nick gets stuck in the cabinet, like even that had like, I think, more tension than anything that happened here.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of like, I'm a little concerned for him. I'm feeling a little concerned about what's going on with Nick. And I don't know. Last year was so good too. I think that's the other thing. Like the whole lore around Merrywick and how it showed the past. It had like a once upon a time kind of vibe about it, which I thought really worked, in the whole heart of Middleton, in the stone, and the secret tunnels they found. And I think that worked so well, where this was all just kind of fun set pieces, but not like there wasn't that like tension that you need to be like a really engaging movie. And so it kind of felt a little bit, maybe like a filler episode that's like perfectly pleasant. Like I didn't hate it. I
Exactly.
think I felt a little bit better about it than you did, but I didn't hate it. But it's like perfectly pleasant and fine, but just not like one that I will remember at all. Where I definitely will remember last year's. Last year's was so good.
Yeah.
One of my top 10 non-Hallmark of the whole year. I mean, non Christmas of the whole year was last year's. It made my top 10. So
That's
anyway,
quite an accomplishment.
yes. So basically there's going to be this ritual where they throw flowers into the bonfire, right?
Yes.
And so Autumn put some kind of curse on the roses in Abigail's store to make them all kind of shrivel up and turn black. And so then that's obviously very upsetting. And then there was also this weird lady at the hospital that was giving out brownies. The lady, and she's like, no badge, no brownie, and I'm like, what is this lady? She was kind of weird. And I did like Martha though, getting like perpetually more upset with Tom, and when she brings him that pizza, that was so.
See, I don't know what's happening. I saw that and I went, poor Martha. Oh
I
no.
know.
Yeah, hurt that she actually went to the effort and she planned this nice sweet surprise and then he didn't show up and I was
Yeah.
like, oh no. I also
I
don't understand how we've made it through how many years without not knowing that that was their engagement
I
anniversary.
know.
But
Yeah,
okay.
he's evidently been very diligent up until that
Yeah.
point. Up until that point of always remembering. I mean, do people really expect their spouse to not only celebrate their wedding anniversary, but also expect also celebrate their engagement anniversary?
Married people, what do you expect? I certainly, I would be like, hey, it's today, isn't it? And I would expect him to be like, yeah, that was today.
Yeah.
So
My parents are
that would be it.
super casual. Like usually we'll be like doing something and then they'll say, "Oh, yeah, today's our anniversary. Happy anniversary." That's my parents, so I don't know what's typical. But anyway, and so we find out that that Autumn has been running this nursery in St. Louis, and that is just the worst for her. She is just so unhappy with her life, and I did just die that this whole scene where Martha is collecting the ping pong, is doing the bingo, but with the for the activities for the triathlon. Can you
Yeah.
imagine how long it would take to put all to make all of those things just to draw 3 items? Like, I mean, that first of all, just even buying all of those ping pong balls, it made me laugh. I
And
just
they
thought
are,
it
of
was
course,
funny.
orange.
I mean,
Yeah.
you could just put every like on paper and put them in a hat and pick them out. Like that was so funny to me. I was and yeah, and every one she pulls off, I guess they each got like 2 vetoes or 1 veto. That made me laugh. And
And then Sam, oh no, does Sam have powers? And then because they all knew what she
right,
did, Sam
he's
read it
like,
in the mirror.
yeah, he has good sight to be
Right?
able to read
Read
backward in the
backwards.
mirror.
Like,
Anyway, it
Sam,
was
wow.
funny.
Okay.
And yeah, and so Martha ends up putting Autumn on probation. She's getting really worried, and uh, they are also researching this. There's this locket pendant, I guess you'd call it, pendant with a 4-leaf clover,
Mhm.
and that Sam got in the mail, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. But Cassie is able to use this linwood oil to see that it came actually in 1974. So that's where this brownie lady comes into play.
Sure.
Yeah. And I did like some of the quotes that we had. Like, I think it's Cassie's, be creative, you need to lose the fear of doing it wrong.
Mhm.
and I think that was a pretty good one. And also Autumn, did you notice that Autumn, I felt like she kept kind of, there was a rose on her hat
Yes.
and she kept kind of rubbing it or whatever, and I was thinking, I feel like that didn't really go anywhere.
Okay, I
Or
really
did?
thought that I had missed something. I have no, because Curse from a Rose. She has the rose on her hat. I
Yeah, and she
see.
curses the roses.
And but
But
what?
is she magic? She is magic. Obviously, she
Uh,
cursed the roses, but she's not a Merrywick. So where did her? Have we had that
I,
many other people
no,
come into Good Witch that have magical powers?
I do not recall any, and
Because
that's why I was so confused.
even Cassie and Grace's magical powers aren't like I don't think they've ever transformed something from living to dead, or
Yeah,
there's this, it's just intuition is their
yeah.
power. So it was sort of weird. I was like,
It was
what's
very
up with this
odd
woman? I was confused.
to just be
But
like, oh yeah, her roommate in college happens to also be a witch, but
yeah.
she like practices witchcraft, and okay, like I'm down with that, but you have to give her a story, and all it
Mm-hmm.
is that she was mad that she overslept, and I'm like,
Yeah.
she's a witch, and that's what she's mad about. I mean, come on, you gotta have some kind of decades long,
Yeah.
centuries, generations, whatever anger.
Catherine did tell me that I guess it was over 100 degrees when they were filming all of the triathlon stuff. So she's like,
Ouch.
can you imagine? Woo! For James Denton and Mark Van David, because yeah, that was very. I did like I like anytime there's a festival and the pumpkin boat race. I mean, those pumpkins were huge, and that
Yeah.
was kind of I thought was kind of fun, and each of the steps of the triathlon were fun. And the you have the first part of the triathlon, Sam wins the hammer throw, and then you have the I did also like the when Sam says to Nick, "Do I question your video game skills?" and Nick says, "All the time." That made me laugh. I'm like, I think we're gonna like Nick this season a lot. I
He
think
can
he's gonna
be
be
fun.
funny.
If they, yeah, if they let him be fun, then fine. I'm
Yeah.
down.
And Cassie's one, belief is the most powerful spell there is. What you give power has power. I thought that was a pretty good line. That was pretty
Yeah.
good.
When they didn't use the cliches, there were so many moments where I was like, that's just something that people say all the time. When it was original, it
Yeah,
was good.
yeah, it was. And Martha, saying saving the world was always the easy part.
Yeah,
So
it's
that was
whatever.
good.
Looking at our own problems is, I was like, Martha, that's very, very insightful.
And so they do put on, did you like them in their 1800 clothes?
Okay, sure, but I was so hoping, and I don't know if I just have a problem, when they ordered 1890s clothing, I was
1890s,
just
yeah.
praying I wanted it to be 1990s and have it be some big mix up. And, oh no, now they have to
Oh,
dress like
that would
a
have been
kids
fun.
concert or something. I was so hoping that it would go wrong, and then I remembered the previews, and I was like, oh no, they have their costumes. Yeah, it's gonna work out. It was all too easy to get those, but
Yeah,
it's fine, I
it was
guess.
fine for me. It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Then you have basically Autumn and Cassie end up making up, and we find out that the Browning lady is Sam Radford, that Stephen Radford was her fiance, and that he died just like the day or two before they were able to get married. And so she, finding the locket, says he gives it to her, and he says it was meant for her, and that means a lot to her. And so there you go,
That
the
was really
locket.
sad. I felt so bad.
Yeah. It
Like,
was,
getting too heavy, good
yeah.
witch. Oh no.
And so Adam tells Stephanie at least we failed together with the jack-o'-lanterns. And then they have the tossing of the red petals, and then Tom interrupts and he reproposes to Martha. And so I can only assume that means we are going to get a Martha Tom vow renewal coming up in the new season, which should be really fun.
Do you know what I hope most about it, Rachel?
What?
That she will have to stay at Abigail's again before the vow renewal. Keep it traditional, because that was my favorite part.
Yes, I'm glad because I forgot to mention that. That was hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
Staying with Abigail.
How did we not have a full just season of Martha living with Abigail? I would pay to see it.
Because not only is she living with Abigail, but she's also across the street from Cassie. That would have been so funny.
We need more.
Definitely. We need more. So then Sam finally gets his romantic dinner for Cassie, and he gives her the lotus flower. I thought he was going to pull up and there would be a risotto. Like, that's pretty, but I'm hungry. I want to eat. That's what I would have thought if I was Cassie, but it was cute. And it says, love's not about being perfect. It's about being perfect together. So, and then we get a little seal at the end, a little kiss from a rose. That's pretty good.
I was so hoping, because I don't like that song. And I was like, the pun is so good, but just don't use the song. And then they did, and it just, it capped it.
I like that song. I was like, woo, Good Witch blowing the budget on the song. That was pretty good. I like that song.
Well, I mean, it's a big deal to get it, I guess. Yeah. So A+ on that.
Yeah. So it wasn't the best, I admit. I agree with you. I wish that it had been a little bit better, but I still had enough fun with it. It's the end of the Hallmark Non-Christmas. They made 65 movies that were non-Christmas in 2019, which is pretty impressive. And so I would give the Good Witch Curse from a Rose, I give it like three crowns. I'm gonna have it at 43 in my ranking. So yes, I have it just underneath Winter Princess at 42 and Aurora Teagarden Inheritance to Die For at 44. So that's where I have it ranked. How many crowns would you give it?
I don't know. I mean, like, it's in a 2 area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't give it 3. It's like a 2.
2.5.
2.3, let's say. I don't really want to gear more to it, because I wanted to love it. I love this show. I love the people.
But you're not alone. You should not feel, because we asked our patrons, and Caroline, she says, it wasn't my favorite. I didn't love the Sam and Cassie scenes, but the rest didn't. Oh, I did love the Sam and Cassie scenes, but the rest didn't impress. And then Lauren Eagle says, it was fine, but definitely the most boring movie 2-hour event they've done. And then Scott says, I always enjoy getting to see these characters, so for that reason, I enjoyed it. As far as the story goes, I don't think they should have gone to the competition theme after having that last year. And I would have just made Autumn a bad witch without prior ties to Cassie. That picture of Bessie seemed more realistic than a 25-year vendetta because of an oil.
That is super true.
Yeah,
yes.
Very, very true. Very good point.
Holding on to that grudge for that long. That's very true. I think it we were talking about that. I think my sister and I were talking about it. So I was watching it. Like, she's been mad that whole time about that. And she's been mad at Cassie. And because
it's not like the oil would have literally, like, physically, we've had no indication from anything that has ever happened on the show that Cassie's magic is controlling of agency in any way.
Yeah.
She's got an intuitive charm. She kind of knows what's what's going to be happening a little bit in advance. She kind of read people, but nothing to the fact that she was like literally physically incapable. Although we did get last year with Abigail being physically incapable of saying I love you. So maybe that's a
Yeah.
new thing they're trying. I don't know. But so far, there's been nothing in Cassie that has shown that she would have, and why on earth would she have ever done anything to have prevented Autumn for going to the appointment. And so she's just blaming Cassie
Yeah.
for giving her some herbs
To
for
help her.
her own problem, her own mistake.
And I mean, I guess that was the point, was now she has to take accountability. And that's what Cassie was, sort of drilling into her, is you are the only one who can stop you and the whole thing. And I thought it was a good, not lesson, but sort of a good message to have. It's not one that you can use that on there more than they do. So I like that they don't
Yeah.
overuse it, where it's like you are responsible for yourself, your decisions, your actions, all that. I think it's good. And it was like an interesting way to do it once you got to it, but everything leading up to it, her being mad for 25 years and her sleeping in, just the details of it, yeah, it didn't hit right. Like
Yeah.
it just didn't work for me. But I guess not for anybody else. So thank you guys for. I don't want to
Well,
make
I'm sure
people like
that
I can make people mad. But
well, let us know in the comment section
yes.
what you thought, or on Twitter, let us know what you thought of the special. Maybe you loved it. Maybe you really enjoyed it. So that's great if you did. Let us know why, and we would love to talk about that, and that would be really fun.
And also
And
let us know how much you miss Vincent, because we know you do.
yes,
Just go ahead and say it. And Grace, obviously, but also
of
Vincent.
course. Yes, both. Yes. We definitely did. He would have been a really fun, I think, foil against Autumn. I think he would have done really well with her. Don't you think?
I mean, I'm like getting chills just thinking about it. I would have loved to
Yeah.
see it. He would have been so interesting and funny, and he would have
Yeah.
figured things out. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, let's see if they can make a great upcoming season. But that's our thoughts of this special. So there you go. And so let us know what your thoughts are. And thank you so much, Georgia, for coming on and talking about this special with me. I really appreciate it. We're
Me
going to
too.
be such a busy week for the podcast, and with our Hallmark Christmas preview, and that we will be doing tomorrow when this airs, with our Hallmark Christmas preview, epic 2-episode preview. It's going to be crazy fun, and then we had our interview with Amy Winter on Monday. We're going over the Up lineups, so Up TV lineups. So there's lots of fun stuff going on. So definitely check out everything on the podcast. And thanks again. And make sure you are following us all over social media. And also, if you consider becoming one of our patrons, we love getting the feedback from the patrons, but also we have giveaways and other really fun benefits for becoming a patron. And so check that out. It's only $2 a month to join. And so I will have all the information in the description section. So Georgia, where can people find you?
I am on Twitter at Georgia Speech.
Great. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes and YouTube, and on on Rotten Tomatoes. So make sure to check that out. And so thanks again, and we'll talk to you all later. Bye.
Bye.